one more thing on sublime. Sublime, in a chemical sense, in scientific chemical sense, means to bring a compound from material form of a solid. So solid form, like this laptop is solid. But you bring that compound into a gas, usually like any other thing. Water has to go from ice to water to steam, right? When you sublime something, you take it from the solid form, like ice, and it sublimes straight into gas. That only happens with liquid, what do they call that? That dry ice. It goes straight into the gas. Now that really is some kind of divinity here, because it points to the glorification of people, that kind of quickening stage, you passing through one of the stages to get high. Basically, you're subliming yourself from the physical to the spiritual straight away. You're moving to a higher form, from earthly to heavenly. That's sublime. Now, given that the cannabosum is only psychoactive when heated or vaporized or cooked or cured by the sun, the worthy invoking of fire and smoke of the cannabosum makes the holy Mishkan and the incense within it a very powerful teaching for I and I to realize, because subliminal theory proposes information is received by someone or given below threshold of consciousness, right? But that threshold in the etymology actually is the lintel, which is the door. I'll try and get the writing up here so you can see it for yourselves. Subliming, lemon, right? Lemon. It's a Latin word, and it means lintel. Just like the top of the lintel. I don't know if we've got a picture of one of them here in our files, but you can see the door. We go. Any kind of door, please. Alright, here we go. We'll just pull this one up. Alright. That's a lintel. Bad example of one, but it is one nonetheless. We'll try and get another one here. This is beautiful. Okay. Aber ne anbesser. Anbesser ne anbesser. Negusa ze anbesser. So this is the lintel up here. It's that topmost port. So if you're subliminal, you're coming below the lintel. Subliminal. That's the lemon there. So if you're sublimin, you're below the lintel. So it's below the threshold of consciousness. Basically, until you go through that porthole, you're not conscious yet, right? You haven't sublimed. Until you go through the door, which is the lamb, you haven't sublimed. I want to show you this, right? Sublimity in early 15th century, if you're gonna get a nice, is loftiness, exaltation, or glory, which I thought was a very interesting word. Sublime is expressing lofty ideas in an elevated manner. From Middle French, sublime, which is uplifted, high or lofty, possibly originally sloping up to the lintel. So again, coming up to that lintel of consciousness. And the doorposts of I and I, hearts and minds, is covered by the blood of the Lamb. So until that happens, really, you shouldn't be walking through those doors. The sublime part of anything is 1670s, but this is very, very fascinating little piece of information I found also. The Sublime Porte is an old title of Ottoman emperor or government, from French La Sublime Porte, however they pronounce it, literally meaning the high gate. It's a loan translation of the Arabic Babu Ali, title of the Ottoman court at Constantinople. The high gate. Right. Now, I'm just going to come here and we try and go this. Because our Abba says something very important about gates, about those portholes. Jah loveth the gates of Zion more than all the dwellings of Jacob. The door, the gates of consciousness, more than all the dwellings of Jacob. Glorious things are spoken of thee, O city of God. Right. There really is too much information for us to get into in this video. Now, one thing that is connected to this is that Pharaoh, in the ancient Egyptian language, literally means the great house. I've pulled this all off online etymological dictionary, so if anyone wants to go on and check it out, it's just here. Online etymological dictionary, etymology dictionary. Anyone can check it out. The great house is basically the great gate. The gate leads to some house. Right? The port. The Ottoman court at Constantinople, from French, Le Sublime Port, was a loan translation of the Arabic Al-Bab al-Ali. Al-Bab al-Ali, generally the lofty gate. Lofty, high. The official name of Central Office of the Ottoman government, Vatican, right, Papacy, White House of the United States. Supposedly a reference to ancient custom of holding royal audience in the doorway of king's palace or tent. And I think that's very interesting because I have a picture here which is His Imperial Majesty in the gateway of a tent. So we get deeper and deeper into it, really. This brings me to the last bit, and I'm sorry if I keep jumping around so much, but I just want to really introduce concepts more than anything. If anyone wants a copy of this, they can just get in touch with me on YouTube, and I can email it to you. I'm really open to reasoning on this subject. The altar of incense particularly is a very fascinating little word, because it's Ariel, basically, like the Little Mermaid. The Hebrew Ariel is translated as altar in later Bibles, but Genesis lexicon translates the fire hearth of God, which is basically that place where the sacrifices is burnt up. The Arabic is Ar. Elsewhere in the Old Testament, the same word occurs as a man's name. It's an appellation of Jerusalem, where it's taken as Lion of God, the Ariel. Ariel is the name of an angel. In T. Haywood and Milton's piece of literature, Shakespeare is of an airy spirit. We say airy, airy, airy. This is where it's coming from here. Ariel, the airy spirit. You can see that here, Shakespeare, airy spirit, right? It's a bit. Now, in astronomy, it's one of the satellites of Uranus. I'm going to check that, try and do some more research on it. And is the name of a species of gazelle found in the Middle East, from the Arabic Ariel, variant of Ayil, which is a stag. They also say ghazal. So, when you smoke the aishans, basically, you are burning holy herb on the fire hearth of Yahweh, which is the Ariel, which is also translated as the Lion of God. So your Irie, Rastafari, Wendamoch and Entoch, your Irie spirit is coming from the fire hearth of Yahweh, of Jah Rastafari. Basically, what happens is that all of his people are to become psychoactive, because really, if you check the words now, it's psycho, which is your mind, your psyche, and it's active. If you're not psychoactive, you're not thinking, you're dead, you're in a coma. So until anyone is a psychoactive human being, they're functioning on vegetable level. And I wanted to give you a picture here of the Ariel, the fire hearth of Jah, because it's really, really important that we understand this point. And at the moment I can't find it, but we'll come to it. We'll get there eventually. I can post it up anyway when I find it. Oh, here we go. We were considering this picture as particularly important as well, because there's something very, very similar to Mishkan in this picture, to the Mishkan, the tabernacle of the Hebrews. Something about the placement of the furniture in this picture really reminds I of the tabernacle, and especially this mirror here, in the sense of being the tabot, the Ark of the Covenant, and the two cherubim on the left and the right, and then the mercy seat here. Mirrors being in that kind of mystical sense, revelators of the other dimension. So basically, if you can see this here, you can sort of see that this is showing the other dimension. So the inner tabernacle and the outer tabernacle. I've got to try and break this down in a picture format, but it's almost like the table of showbread, the altar of incense. Basically, everything seems to be here in a symbolic form. And that's it for now. But there will be more. Shalom. Senbet Salam. I hope all my brothers and sisters are peaceful and well.